Here is a question that sounds simple, but it is not simple at all. Who were the first humans on Earth? Were they black? Were they white? Were they something else? Most people never ask this question. They just guess. And most guesses are wrong. Today we are going to find the real answer. Not a guess. Not an opinion. The real scientific answer. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will look at your own skin in a whole new way. Let's go back. Way back. Not 100 years back. Not 1,000 years back. We are going almost 300,000 years back in time. Picture the Earth then. No cities. No roads. No houses. Just wild land, wild rivers, and wild sky. Somewhere in that world, in a hot place called Africa, a new kind of creature stood up on two legs. This creature had a big brain. This creature could think, plan, and talk. This creature was us. This was the first Homo sapiens. The first true human. Now here is the big question. What color was that first human's skin? Scientists have studied this for many years. They looked at bones. They looked at old DNA. They looked at skin cells under strong microscopes. And they all found the same answer, again and again. The first humans had dark skin. Very dark skin. Not brown. Not tan. Dark. Deep, rich, dark skin, made to survive under a hot African sun. This is not a guess. This is not one scientist's idea. Almost every study on early human skin says the same thing. Every single person alive today, no matter their skin color now, came from those first dark-skinned humans in Africa. Let that sink in for a moment. Your great-great-great-grandparents, going back far enough, all had dark skin. All of them. No matter where you live today. No matter what you look like today. So why? Why did the first humans have dark skin? Was it random? Was it just an accident of nature? No. It was not random at all. It was survival. Here is how it works. Your skin has a special thing inside it called melanin. Melanin gives skin its color. More melanin means darker skin. Less melanin means lighter skin. Melanin is not just for looks. Melanin is a shield. A real, working shield against the sun. The sun sends down strong light called UV rays. These rays feel nice and warm on your skin, but they can also be harmful. UV rays can break tiny parts inside your body's cells. Over time, this damage can lead to sickness. It can even lead to skin cancer. In Africa, near the equator, the sun is very strong. It shines almost straight down all year long. This means UV rays hit the skin hard, every single day. Humans living under that strong sun needed strong protection. And dark skin, full of melanin, was the best shield nature could build. So the first humans were dark-skinned for a very good reason. It kept them alive. It kept their bodies safe from harmful sun rays. It let them live longer. It let them have healthy babies. And healthy babies grew up to have more babies. This is how nature works. What helps you survive gets passed down. But there is a second reason too. And this one is just as important, maybe even more. Inside a woman's body, there is something called folate. Folate is very important during pregnancy. It helps build a baby's brain and spine in the very first weeks of life. Without enough folate, a baby can be born with serious problems. Sometimes, sadly, the baby cannot survive at all. Here is the problem. Strong UV rays from the sun can destroy folate in the body. So under the hot African sun, a woman with light skin would lose more folate. A woman with dark skin, with more melanin, would keep more folate safe. This means dark skin did two jobs at once. It protected the skin from cancer. And it protected babies before they were even born. Two life-saving jobs. One simple trait. Dark skin. So now we know the truth. The first humans, the very first people to ever walk this earth, were black. Not white. Not some in-between color. Black with deep, strong, protective skin. But if that is true, then something big must have happened later. Because today, humans come in every shade you can imagine. Light skin, medium skin, dark skin, every color in between. So what changed? How did one dark-skinned group turn into the many different skin colors we see today? That answer is even more surprising than the first one. And it involves ice, cold winters, weak sunlight, and a strange twist that flipped the whole story upside down. So we know the first humans were black. Dark skin, strong and safe under the African sun. Now let's find out what happened next. Humans did not stay in one place forever. Slowly, over many, many years, small groups began to move. They did not have maps. They did not have a plan. They just walked. a little farther each year, looking for food, looking for water, looking for new land. This slow walk took thousands of years. Step by step, group by group, humans spread out of Africa. Some went north into places we now call the Middle East. Some kept going into Europe. Some walked east, all the way into Asia. Much later, some even crossed into the Americas. As these groups moved, something in their world began to change. Not the people. Not yet. The sunlight. Here is something many people do not know. The sun does not shine the same way everywhere on Earth. Near the equator in Africa, the sun sits high in the sky almost every day. Its light is strong and direct. But far from the equator, up north, the sun sits lower in the sky. Its light has to pass through more air before it reaches the ground. This makes the light weaker. Winters in these places are long, cold, and dark. Some days, the sun barely shows up at all. So picture this. A group of dark-skinned humans built for strong African sun, now living under weak northern sunlight. Their skin still worked the same way. Their thick melanin still blocked the sun's rays. But now, that was starting to become a problem. Why? Because of something called vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important for the body. It helps bones grow strong. It helps the body use calcium the right way. Without enough vitamin D, bones can become soft and weak. Children can grow up with bent legs and small bodies. This sickness is called rickets. For grown women, low vitamin D can cause weak bones in the hip area. This made childbirth much more dangerous. Some women could not survive it at all. Here is the tricky part. Human skin makes vitamin D using sunlight. But dark skin with lots of melanin blocks sunlight very well. In Africa, that was a good thing, because there was plenty of strong sun to get through anyway. But up north, sunlight was already weak. Dark skin blocked even more of it. This meant northern humans with dark skin were not making enough vitamin D. And that put their whole health at risk. So now we have two totally different problems, in two totally different places. In Africa, strong sun meant humans needed dark skin to block harmful rays. But up north, weak sun meant humans needed lighter skin to soak in more of it. The very thing that saved lives in Africa was now working against people in the north. This is where nature made a change. Slowly, tiny random changes started showing up in people's bodies. Some babies were born with slightly less melanin than their parents. This was not planned. It was not chosen. It just happened, by chance, the way small changes always happen in nature. But here is the key part. Those babies with slightly lighter skin could make more vitamin D. Their bones grew stronger. Their mothers had safer childbirths. These children were more likely to grow up and have children of their own. Over many, many generations, this small change kept happening again and again. A little lighter, then a little lighter still. Slowly, over thousands of years, the people living in cold, low-sun places became lighter and lighter in skin color. This was not a choice. No one decided to change color. It was simply nature choosing what worked best for each place on Earth. Now, here is something that will surprise you. For a long time, scientists believed this change happened very slowly, over hundreds of thousands of years. But new studies on very old bones and old DNA have shown something shocking. The change to light skin in Europe happened much later than anyone thought. In fact, it happened so late, it will surprise you to hear when. There was a man who lived in what is now called Britain. His bones were found in a cave, and scientists were able to study his DNA. This man lived only about 10,000 years ago. That might sound like a very long time, but compared to 300,000 years of human history, it is actually very recent. And this man, this ancient person living in cold, cloudy Britain, still had dark skin. Not light skin. Dark skin, along with something very unexpected. Blue eyes. Dark skin and blue eyes together. That sounds strange to us today, because we are used to seeing blue eyes on people with very light skin. But back then it was normal. It shows us that the change to light skin in Europe took much, much longer than people once believed. So if it was not just moving to a colder place that made skin turn light, what pushed it the rest of the way? What made light skin spread so fast, so suddenly in Europe? The answer has to do with something humans started doing that changed their food forever. And it is one of the biggest turning points in this whole story. So we left off with a strange fact. A man living in cold, cloudy Britain 10,000 years ago still had dark skin. That means something else had to happen to push skin color the rest of the way to light. And that something was food. For most of human history, people did not grow their own food. They hunted animals. They caught fish. They gathered wild plants, nuts, and berries. This is called being a hunter-gatherer. Hunter-gatherers ate a very rich diet. Fatty fish, organ meat, shellfish. These foods are packed with vitamin D. So even in cold, low-sun places, hunter-gatherers were still getting some vitamin D from their food. Their skin did not have to do all the work alone. But then, around 10,000 years ago, something huge changed. Humans began farming. This is called the Neolithic Revolution. Instead of hunting and gathering, people started growing crops. Wheat, barley, oats, rye. This was a smart move in many ways. Farming meant more food. More food meant more people could live in one place. But farming also changed the human diet in a big way. Farming diets were mostly grains and plants. They had much less meat, much less fish, much less of the rich foods that gave people natural vitamin D. So now picture this. People in Europe were already living under weak sunlight. Now, on top of that, their new farming diet gave them very little vitamin D from food. This meant their bodies had only one place left to get vitamin D: their own skin using sunlight. But if their skin was still fairly dark, it could not make enough vitamin D fast enough. This created a huge new pressure. Light skin was no longer just a small advantage. It became something people badly needed to survive and have healthy children. This is why scientists believe skin color in Europe changed so fast after farming began. It was not just about weak sunlight anymore. It was weak sunlight, plus a new diet that removed a major backup source of vitamin D. Two problems stacking on top of each other. There is one more piece to this puzzle. Farming villages were bigger than hunter-gatherer groups. Hunter-gatherers moved in small bands, maybe a few dozen people. Farmers lived in larger villages with hundreds of people, often connected to other villages nearby through trade and travel. This matters a lot for how fast a helpful trait can spread. In a tiny group of 50 people, a helpful change might take a very long time to reach other groups far away. But in a large farming village connected to many other villages, a helpful change can spread through thousands of people in just a few generations. So farming did two things at once. It removed a rich source of vitamin D from people's diet. And it packed people into large, connected communities where a helpful trait, like lighter skin, could spread very fast. This is likely why the very fair skin we see in Northern Europe today, the kind that turns red after just a few minutes in strong sun, mostly spread within the last 6,000 to 8,000 years. That might sound like a long time, but compare it to 300,000 years of human history. It is a tiny, tiny slice. Less than 3% of the whole story. Now here is something that will really surprise you. Skin color is not controlled by just one single gene. It is not as simple as one gene for dark skin and one gene for light skin. Skin color comes from many different genes working together. Some genes control how much melanin your body makes. Some control what type of melanin it is. Some control how that melanin sits inside your skin cells. And here is the truly amazing part. Different groups of people around the world developed lighter skin using different genes. People in Europe and people in East Asia both ended up with lighter skin than people near the equator. But the genes behind their light skin are not the same genes. They found different paths to a very similar result. Scientists call this convergent evolution. It means two separate groups, living far apart, facing a similar problem, come up with a similar solution, using totally different tools inside their bodies. Think about what this really means. The need for lighter skin in low-sun places was so strong, so real, and so important for survival, that nature found a way to solve it more than once in different places, using different genetic paths. When nature solves the same problem twice, in two different ways, that is a very strong sign that the problem truly mattered. So now we understand the big picture. Dark skin came first, born under the strong African sun. Light skin came later, born out of weak sunlight and a new farming diet, spreading fast through large, connected communities. But we still have a few more amazing secrets left to uncover. Like why blue eyes are much younger than most people think. And what all of this really means about the first humans, and about us today. Let's talk about something that seems very old, but is actually one of the newest things about the human body. Blue eyes. Right now, take a moment and think about anyone you know with blue eyes. Maybe a friend. Maybe a family member. Maybe you have blue eyes yourself. Here is something that will blow your mind. Every single person on Earth today with blue eyes shares something in common. They all come from one single person. One person who lived a long, long time ago near the Black Sea area. Scientists believe this was somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago. Before that one person was born, every human on Earth had brown eyes. Every single one. Brown eyes, brown eyes, brown eyes, as far back as you can go. Then, inside this one person, a tiny change happened inside their body. A change in a small piece of their DNA. This change reduced the amount of melanin made in the colored part of the eye, called the iris. Less melanin in the iris means the eye looks blue instead of brown. This was not planned. It was not chosen. It was one small random change inside one single person at one single moment in time. But that tiny change did not disappear. It got passed down to that person's children, and their children, and their children's children. Slowly, over thousands of years, more and more people carried this blue-eyed trait. Scientists believe this change spread partly because it was linked to other changes happening in skin color at the same time. Remember, many different traits are controlled by genes sitting close together inside our DNA. So a change linked to lighter skin may have carried the blue eye change along with it, almost like two travelers walking the same road together. Now here is something worth pausing on. Blue eyes feel like something ancient, something that has always been part of humanity. People sometimes even use eye color to make strange claims about which groups of humans are older, or more original, or more pure. But blue eyes are not ancient at all. They're shockingly new. Blue eyes are younger than farming. Blue eyes are younger than Stonehenge. Blue eyes are younger than many of the very first cities ever built by humans. Think about that for a second. Something we treat like a deep, ancient human trait is actually one of the newest features on the entire human body. This tells us something very important. Many of the traits people believe are old, fixed, and unchanging are actually very new, very fragile, and still changing even now. Let's step back and look at the whole story so far, from the very beginning to right now. 300,000 years ago, every human on Earth was dark-skinned. Every single person. This was not one group among many. This was everyone everywhere, all the same. Dark skin protected these humans in two big ways. It blocked harmful sun rays from causing skin cancer. And it protected a vitamin called folate, which is critical for healthy pregnancies and healthy babies. Then slowly, over tens of thousands of years, small groups of humans began walking out of Africa. As they moved into colder, cloudier lands, the sun's strength changed completely. Weak sunlight meant humans needed to make more vitamin D through their skin. But dark skin blocked too much of that weak sunlight. So nature began a slow shift. Small random changes led to slightly lighter skin. Those slightly lighter humans made more vitamin D, grew stronger bones, and had safer childbirths. Over many generations, this shift kept building, slowly turning entire populations lighter over time. But new evidence from ancient bones shows this change happened much slower than expected at first, and then sped up fast much later. Real proof of this comes from an ancient man in Britain who lived only 10,000 years ago and still had dark skin, along with blue eyes. The big jump toward very light skin came later, tied closely to farming. When humans began growing crops instead of hunting and fishing, their diet lost many rich sources of vitamin D. This made light skin far more important for survival. And because farming villages were larger and more connected than small hunting groups, this helpful change spread much faster through the population. On top of all this, we learned that skin color is controlled by many genes working together, not just one. And different groups of humans in different parts of the world developed lighter skin using completely different genetic paths. A clear sign that this need was so strong, nature solved it more than once. And blue eyes, something many people see as an old, deep human trait, actually began with just one single person, only a few thousand years ago. So now we return to our very first question. Who were the first humans? Black or white? The clear scientific answer is black. Dark-skinned humans came first, every single time, in every single study, across every single continent's earliest human remains. Light skin came much, much later, as a smaller branch growing out from that original tree. But there is one more part of this story left. The most important part. What all of this actually means for us, today, living in a world where skin color has been used to divide people for far too long. We have traveled a long road together in this video. From the hot plains of Africa, all the way to cold, cloudy Europe. From dark skin to light skin to blue eyes. Now it is time to bring it all together and talk about what this really means. Here is the biggest truth of this whole story. Skin color is not about which group is better. It is not about which group came first in some kind of race. It is simply the story of humans adjusting to different amounts of sunlight in different parts of the world. Dark skin is not old-fashioned. It is not something left behind. Dark skin is the original human skin. It is the starting point for every person alive today, no matter what they look like now. Light skin is not something better or more advanced. It is simply a newer branch that grew out from that same starting point, shaped by weak sunlight and changing diets in certain parts of the world. Neither one is better. Neither one is worse. They are both answers to the same question, asked by the same sun, in two very different places on Earth. Think about how strange and how sad it is that humans have spent so much of history fighting over skin color, building walls between people, creating unfair rules, treating people differently, based only on how much melanin sits in their skin. All of that pain, all of that division, all of that unfair treatment is built on top of something as simple as this. How much sunlight did your very distant ancestors receive in the place where they lived thousands and thousands of years ago? That is it. That is the whole difference. Not better blood. Not better minds. Not better worth as a human being. Just sunlight, melanin, and time. Every person on Earth today, no matter their skin color, comes from the very same family tree. We all share the very same first ancestors. Ancestors who stood up in Africa, looked out at a wild world, and began the long journey that led to every single one of us being here today. So the next time someone tries to use skin color to divide people, or to claim one group is somehow more human than another, remember this story. Remember that we all came from the same dark-skinned humans in Africa. Remember that every skin color since then is simply a different chapter in the very same book. Science does not support hate. Science does not support division. Science tells us clearly and plainly that we are one human family, wearing different shades of the very same skin, shaped by the very same sun. Let's do one more quick review, so all of this stays clear in your mind. First, all early humans were dark-skinned, born under the strong African sun. Dark skin protected their DNA from harmful sun rays and protected a vitamin called folate, which is vital for healthy pregnancies. Second, as humans moved into colder, cloudier lands, weaker sunlight created a new problem. Dark skin blocked too much of the little sunlight there was, making it hard for bodies to produce enough vitamin D. Third, small random changes over many generations slowly led to lighter skin in these colder regions, helping people build stronger bones and have safer childbirths. Fourth, the shift to farming removed many rich sources of vitamin D from human diets, making light skin even more important, and helping this trait spread fast through large, connected farming communities. Fifth, skin color comes from many different genes, and different groups of humans reached lighter skin through different genetic paths, a strong sign of just how important this need really was. And finally, blue eyes, something that feels ancient, actually began with just one single person, only a few thousand years ago, showing us how new some human traits really are. So who were the first humans, black or white? The evidence is clear. The first humans were black. Every single one of us, no matter what we look like today, can trace our roots back to those first dark-skinned humans in Africa. We are not different species. We are not different levels. We are one human family, shaped over hundreds of thousands of years by nothing more than sunlight, food, and time. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you see your own skin and every other person's skin in a new way, then do one simple thing. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we are going to keep uncovering the real, true stories behind the human story, one video at a time. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I will see you in the very next video.